released recording of Sandra Bland leaving this message for a friend the day after her arrest from behind bars.
I'm still just at a loss for words, honestly, about this whole process. How this switching lanes with no signal turned into all of this.
The case of Sandra Bland is now taking us right where so many other incidents like this have led. A search for the truth, some difficult facts for all sides to face, the real legalities here, and why cops at almost every level are worried every time they pull someone over, even for a failure to signal, a turn, and the discussion of arrogance for both officer and citizen. We're joined in studio by police psychologist, law enforcement educator, and trainer, Dr. Laurence Miller, and senior attorney working on behalf of the Maryland Troopers Association from the Maryland law firm Warren Ken LLC, Rebecca Smith. I want to thank you both for joining us. And Dr. Miller, I'm going to begin with you, first of all, from the psychological side of things. Is it just inherent in this society for cops everywhere to be more aggressive with the fear that somebody, anybody, everybody is carrying a weapon?
Well, let's take the second half of that statement, the fear. What police officers know, and many civilians don't realize, is if somebody pulls you or me over, we know who we are. We know the worst that could happen in our own lives. But a police officer pulls somebody over, no matter who they are, they don't know what the worst case scenario is. Any kind of ambiguous or even friendly situation can quickly turn confrontational, can quickly turn deadly. And what police officers live by is the rule of safety first. So when a police officer tells you to move to the side, tells you to put your hands on the car, even puts you in detention, they're probably not doing it because they don't like you or taking it personally. They're doing it because they have a little bit of radar that's going up that's telling them something might happen. And I'd rather be safe than sorry, and if everything's fine, they'll say, thank you, sir, and be on your way. But the other thing that civilians don't realize is civilians are actually required to obey lawful commands from a police officer.
Okay, let me stop you right there for 1 second, because I want to bring Rebecca in on this from a legal side of things. Rebecca, is it not fair to say, I heard an attorney say recently, I tell every one of my clients, a cop has handcuffs and a gun. Shut your mouth, and as long as it's within the normal parameters of existence and life, do what they tell you.
Well, from a legal perspective, the Supreme Court has held that police officers are allowed to order someone out of their vehicle. It doesn't have to be with probable cause. It's just a natural thing that police officers are able to do for officer safety, as Dr. Miller stated, to have people be ordered out of the vehicle. And once someone fails to obey that order, a police officer would then be within their rights to charge and arrest for the resisting arrest and failing to obey that order to be removed from the vehicle.
Rebecca, we are not trying to, in any case, say that anyone deserves to die for something as ludicrously small as a traffic stop here. But in your experience as an attorney working with the state troopers, is it also not fair to say that we are in a time of societal existence when citizens are arrogant? The arrogance toward cop is simply just overflowing at this point, and that puts cops on edge every single time.
I would agree from that based on my experiences with the Maryland Troopers Association and Maryland State Police. A lot of troopers here in Maryland are wary when they're stopping vehicles now, and they're also scared of the scrutiny from the media that's going to come just from simply doing their jobs.
Dr. Miller, then let's go to this traffic stop. Look, obviously, the officer ratcheted this up and did not have to. But the individual, Sandra Bland, inside the car seemed to ratchet it up. Okay, we're not trying to find fault here, but isn't it fair to say that both sides have got to learn to bring it down? This is a tough situation right now. Everybody's on edge, and you've got to you got to hold it, even if you don't want to.
If you take a look at virtually every incident that we've talked about in the news, from Ferguson on up, there is always what I call a tipping point. At some point, an attitude gets out of control and people overreact. And what I always tell people in my training classes is you lose nothing by treating everybody with basic respect. You, as a police officer, your job is to be the professional in the room or out there on the street. Treating a citizen with respect does not mean not doing your job. If a citizen is violent, you try to calm them down. If they're breaking the law, you arrest them. And if, in fact, they're threatening you, credibly, you use deadly force. But you never let your attitude take over your training. if a little bit of this attitude could also shade over into us as civilians. If a police officer pulls us over, we don't have to grovel and bow and scrape, but a simple no, sir, yes, sir.
Right.
Well, how can we make this go away as quickly as possible can make the encounter short and harmless. And I think both sides, as you mentioned, have to learn that lesson.
Short and harmless, excellent. 30 seconds, Rebecca. Do you feel that the cops, the people that you work with, are they getting enough of this psychological training, if you will, to make sure that they do bring this down to a workable level? Okay, unfortunately, I think we've lost Rebecca's microphone there. Rebecca, unfortunately, there's a problem with your microphone here. I'm going to have to say thank you very much, but listen, we will have you back again here at another time because, again, it's all about training, it's all about bringing it down, it's all about making sure that this does not turn into a deadly situation, if you will. Rebecca Smith and Dr. Laurence Miller, I want to thank you both for joining us. Now let me go ahead and get to you. Social media is our chance to talk to you. What do you think? Is it the case where even the citizens themselves need to learn how to be less arrogant? Email, Facebook, Twitter, send it to us. We'll continue right here on The Hard Line.